What if I were to tell you that one of the most famous Roman emperors, the same emperor that was portrayed by Richard Harris in The Gladiator, saw and wrote about a verified miracle from God that saved his soldiers from dying of thirst during a battle? In AD 174, Marcus Aurelius was in a battle against the Sarmatians and the Germans. Documented by ancient historian Eusebius Pamphilus, he writes, "It is reported that Marcus Aurelius Caesar, a brother of Antoninus, being about to engage in battle with the Germans and Sarmatians, was in great trouble on account of his army suffering from thirst. But the soldiers of the so-called Melitene Legion, through the faith which has given strength from that time to the present, when they were drawn up before the enemy, kneeled on the ground, as is our custom in prayer, and engaged in supplication to God. This was indeed a strange sight to the enemy, but it is reported that a stranger thing immediately followed. The lightning drove the enemy to flight and destruction, but a shower refreshed the army of those who had called on God, all of whom had been on the point of perishing with thirst." We can also see early church fathers like Justin Martyr and Tertullian who commented on this amazing display of God's mercy and grace. But perhaps the most important commentary on this event is from Marcus Aurelius himself, who shared about what happened in his epistle to the Roman Senate. He writes, "Having then examined my own position and my host with respect to the vast mass of barbarians and of the enemy, I quickly betook myself to prayer to the gods of my country. But being disregarded by them, I summoned those who among us go by the name of Christians. And having made inquiry, I discovered a great number and a vast host of them, and raged against them, which was by no means becoming. For afterwards I learned of their power. Wherefore they began the battle, not by preparing weapons, nor arms, nor bugles, for such preparation is hateful to them, on account of the God they bear about in their conscience. Therefore, it is probable that those whom we suppose to be atheists have God as their ruling power entrenched in their conscience. For having cast themselves on the ground, they prayed not only for me, but also for the whole army as it stood, that they might be delivered from the present thirst and famine. For during 5 days we had got no water, because there was none. For we were in the heart of Germany, and in the enemy's territory. And simultaneously with their casting themselves on the ground and praying to God, a God of whom I am ignorant, water poured from heaven upon us most refreshingly cool, but upon the enemy of Rome withering hail. And immediately we recognized the presence of God following on the prayer, a God unconquerable and indestructible." Dubbed the rain miracle, this event is well attested even by atheist historians, and for us is another display of God's intervention for his children when they call upon his name in times of distress.